Greetings. I take this opportunity to welcome you to Global Leadership Perspective. And I want to believe so far, especially for those of you who have been following this program closely, that it has been informative, formative, and subsequently transformative. Today, I want to dive straight into the brief conversation that I've prepared. And so I will be focusing on leadership, and I will be focusing on leadership in the context of the two leaders we have in Kenya, that is the president and the opposition leader, that is the president, Mr. Ruto, and the opposition leader, Mr. Raila Odinga. And the reason why I'm focusing on these two persons is because of the unfolding events that are taking place in the country. And so these are events that are not worthy to escape our attention. And even if we do not want to give attention to them, then they are going to cause us to give attention to them. And so I want to look at it in different way. I want to begin by looking at Mr. Raila Odinga, and in terms of his followers. It appears that his followers, the people who are subscribed to his ideology and leadership, they are really pushing him to take a certain direction or certain steps in life. You remember in the last regime, there was a similar problem whereby there was an issue with the presidential election. And so, because of that, they had to get into an arrangement with the former president, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta. And so eventually, of course, they continued well. And I would say, in my own opinion, that by then that was a good thing to do. And that, as much as it was a good thing to do and it was needed for the country such a time as then, the followers of Raila Odinga still did not subscribe to that particular move. They felt that he really did against their wish. And anyway, because leadership is leadership, he had to take that initiative. Then later on, he kept on explaining to them why he had to do that, that Kenya was bigger than him, and the rest would then follow. And so, in terms of followers, currently in the current circumstance or situation, it appears that the followers are pushing and they do not want to hear anything to do with the handshake, in terms of making an arrangement or maybe to work together with the current government. They really do not want to hear, and so that is really putting him in a very awkward position. And on the other side, when we talk of the president, Mr. Ruto, in terms of his followers, of course, since they are already in the government, they will be at a comfort zone, and they will not want to hear any kind of calling and agitation that is coming from the opposition. So where they are, they feel it is time probably for them to now enjoy and eat. And so there's no big deal there. They really do not want to come across anything that interferes with that kind of comfort. And in terms of presidency, where Mr. Raila is concerned, he feels that, and this came out clearly in the what probably others would call irreducible minimum. It came out clearly in the statement he made today, and he indicated that, and what they have been indicating since they began their agitation, is that this is illegitimate government. They stole election, and so they are not supposed to be in leadership. And so that is the view of his followers, and that is really their position. And on the other side, where Mr. Ruto is concerned, he's saying, okay, for us, we were declared the winners of election together with their followers. They know they won, and they won fairly and squarely. And so the issue of illegitimacy is not supposed to be in question, though that is a subject for another day. But again, it's more political. But as you know, this platform does not interrogate into deep political issues. This is a platform where I look strictly at leadership issues, and in this case, I would really want to limit myself to that position, or to that place. And so, then I would also want to look at the two leaders in terms of the situation analysis. When you look at the situation, especially where Mr. Odinga is concerned, he's really, because they have been agitated, they are talking of taking action, doing things such as picketing and mass action. And so they have declared that officially today, and they have given some dates ahead and the events that will be following. So in terms of situation, that is the situation, and it doesn't really look good. And so that is the situation anyway. And on the side of the president, when you look at the situation, how the big issue is how he is to respond to the issues, to the issues and that has been raised, and at the same time as he respond to the issues, if they are the issues, including if they are to go on the street as they have said they are going, how will the presidency respond to that? Are they going to unleash the security apparatus to torture and to torment people, as we have always seen as being the case? And so how are they going to respond to it? Or how will the president and his security apparatus team going to respond to this issue? The question at hand, I would like to ask, will the response still maintain the sanity and the integrity of presidency? So that's something that we need to ask ourselves. And the other thing that I want to also interrogate, where the unfolding circumstances in the context of leadership is concerned, in terms of facts, the issues on the table, are the issues the opposition leaders, through their leaders, raising, are they valid? Do they have merit? Are they worthy to be listened? Are there things that are exactly happening? And if that is the case, really, then how are they going to be responded to? Then on the side of the president, how do they? What is the reality in the context or in the pretext of the issues that the opposition is raising? Are these things reality, or are they just illusion? So really the issue of really what the exact thing on the ground and what is happening is something that the leaders and even the followers and the country at large, we need to interrogate and look at these things very carefully. Now, the other thing that is also very interesting is in terms of the law. How will the opposition carry out their mass action and picketing and the things they have mentioned, and ensures that they remain within the parameters of the law, ensures that they do not go outside the law? Whatever they want to do, is it within the confinement of the law and the Constitution of Kenya? So that is a question, and as you listen to their statement, it came out very explicitly that indeed what they are doing is within the parameters of this Constitution, both to the spirit and to the letter of it. And now on the side of the president, as they will be responding to the picketing, mass action, action or any other thing that they may find befitting for them to do in terms of responding to the issue, will it be within the confinement of the law? Or is it possible that the president and the presidency and his people are going to find themselves in a very awkward position whereby they're going to find themselves capable of breaking the law and going against the constitution of the land. So these are the things that really we need to look at them, and the two leaders need to look at them, and the people around them need to help them to look at these issues very thorough. And the last thing I would like to look at in terms of comparison is, where is Kenya? I would like them to look at Kenya as the main project and the people of Kenya. So as much as they want to do all these things and how they respond to it and what is happening, what is the impact of all these things on the people of Kenya and and Kenya as a country? What is the impact? Definitely the impact is going to be there, and this is the reality that both the leaders of course they know, and the followers, I'm sure, and if they do not know, then they really have to know, because the impacts will be there, and that is a reality that we cannot run away from it. Now, with that background, what I'm deriving at is that leadership is needed. And leadership, both from the two gentlemen, leadership is absolutely needed. Because I want to believe that Kenya is now at crossroads. I want to believe it is a moment where people are living in uncertainties. They don't know what is going to happen. Maybe the government might have tensed, or the opposition. I'm not quite sure whether the moves they're taking are the right moves. But you see, these are people with, both of them, they could be thinking separately. But because we have Kenya as our main project, and that we must remember that Kenya is bigger than all the two leaders and the people coalescing around them. That Kenya is bigger than them, and Kenya as a project is something that will go into posterity beyond their generation. So if that is the case, then we have to really think careful about these things and be very critical in terms of responding to it. So what I'm trying to say is that leadership is needed, and nothing less, nothing more. The two people must respond, and they must respond with speed, because there is a crisis, and if they feel the crisis is not there, crisis is building, and before they realize, the crisis will be out of hand. So leadership is needed. And because leadership is needed, the two must respond, and they must provide leadership. Let me put a disclaimer where this is concerned. As much as the responsibility of leadership lies squarely on the opposition leader, but the country is there, and the current president is Mr. Ruto, and so he has to provide leadership at this critical moment. And his leadership as a president, or the presidency, not really the president, but him as a president, in terms of leadership, his leadership skills have been put to test. And so we pray that we are going to respond to these issues well, and in a manner that is going to ensure that country Kenya stands and the people of the country stands. The King bless Kenya, and the King bless each and every one of you.